Hi everyone, I am Shlok Majumdar and I am a student of M.Tech IT 8th semester in International Institute of Professional Studies DAVV Indore. In this video, I will be discussing about green cloud computing, and this video has been made under the guidance of Dr. Vivek Shrivastava Sir. So in the topics that I will cover in this video are an overview to green cloud computing, the goals of green cloud computing, the comparison between cloud and green cloud computing, characteristics of green cloud computing, advantages and disadvantages of green cloud computing, and various application areas of green cloud computing. So let's get started. Green cloud computing is a term that denotes the environmental benefits that an organization derives by switching its on-premise IT infrastructure to the cloud. It allows organizations to utilize different components related to energy consumption efficiently, such as computing devices, lighting energy, and cooling systems. Now, there are primarily three goals of green cloud computing. These are maximizing the energy efficiency during a computing device's life cycle, minimizing the use of hazardous materials, and promoting biodegradability and recyclability of materials. Now let's have a comparison between cloud and green cloud computing. A cloud computing is all about delivery of various computing services such as databases, storage, and servers all over the internet. Whereas a green cloud computing is all about utilizing the energy to perform operations in a most efficient way possible. Cloud computing offers utility-oriented IT services to the users worldwide, whereas green cloud computing helps in using least amount of resources for the most amount of work. Cloud computing increases the revenue of business organizations. It provides a faster communication, secure network, collaboration, and promotes the efficient utilization of existing resources, whereas green cloud computing reduces the carbon footprint of businesses, which helps the businesses to responsibly use the energy and keep business running on an energy lean diet. Cloud computing allows company to diversify its network and server infrastructure, whereas green cloud computing allows companies to improve the disposal and recycling procedures. Cloud computing lowers IT costs, maintains business continuity, and provides scalability, whereas green cloud computing also helps in lowering energy bills, lowers power consumption. It is cost effective due to less energy usage. Cloud computing is comparatively less energy efficient, whereas green cloud computing is more energy efficient. Now let's look at the characteristics of green cloud computing. Green cloud computing have basically 5 characteristics. These are energy efficiency, virtualization, multi-tenancy, consolidation, and eco-friendliness. We will discuss the energy efficiency and other characteristics in details. So first let's discuss energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is the basic building block of green cloud computing. Energy efficiency in cloud means deploying the efficient power management techniques to reduce the power consumption at each cloud object, be it servers, data center, disks, routers, or processor level. Now DPM system, that is dynamic power management systems, was proposed to reduce the unnecessary use of high energy in the cloud environment. This system starts only the required cloud resources at beginning, estimates the power needs, and supplies the adequate power voltage based on demand. Now let's look at the second characteristic, that is virtualization. Virtualization is installing a virtual infrastructure that allows several operating systems and applications to sum on a lesser number of servers, helping to reduce overall energy used for data centers. The main purpose of virtualization is to virtualize and make a single piece of hardware function as multiple parts. Different user interface isolate different parts of the hardware, thereby making each one behave and function as an individual. Now, installing the virtual infrastructure allows several operating systems and applications to run on a lesser number of servers, which helps in reducing the overall energy consumption for data center and for its cooling. Now, let's look at the third characteristic of green cloud computing, which is multi-tenancy. Multi-tenancy means an instance of cloud is servicing to multiple tenants of same category to avoid the additional investments, creating a new cloud instance for each tenant and utilizing the available resources efficiently. The software as a service providers serve multiple companies on same infrastructure and software. Now, this approach is obviously more energy efficient than the multiple copies of software installed on different infrastructure, which can minimize the need for extra infrastructure. Now, the fourth characteristic of green cloud computing is consolidation. In green cloud computing, consolidation means the process of deploying different data centers related data processing applications on a single server with virtualization technology. Now, this is the main subtask derived from virtualization and is committed to implement the process level load balancing, better utilization of virtual systems, and reducing the power consumption also. The consolidation process is resource intensive and expects the intelligent support to reduce the server down to a minimum. Now, DVFS based virtual machine is used to overcome limitation of consolidation process. Now, let's look at the fifth characteristic, that is eco-friendliness. Eco-friendliness, as the name suggests, means bridging the gap between economy and environment using cross-cutting technologies. Eco-friendliness is related to nature. In eco-friendliness characteristic, we basically propose that green clouds are the environment-friendly clouds, which are specially designed to minimize the environment spoiling activities in the name of development and ensures the non-disturbance to ecology elements. Now, this area mainly concentrates on environment-based tool design, that is carbon emission calculator tools to measure the effect of the cloud on nature. Now, let's look at how to achieve green cloud computing. The first method is virtualization. Virtualization assists the system in making the most use of available resources. It's now easy to keep track and manage resource allocation. The expected downtime is avoided by migrating virtual computers from one physical location to the another. The workloads are dynamically balanced among the servers. Now, the second characteristic or the second way of achieving the green cloud computing is dynamic voltage frequency scaling, which is DVFS. It's a strategy for lowering the processor power and energy usage that's combined with a frequency scaling, which is a technique where dynamic control of the voltage and frequency is adopted. The DVFS minimizes the data center energy usage and maximizes the resource use. As a result, adopting green cloud computing is very beneficial. Now, let's look at advantages of green cloud computing. First advantage is green cloud computing makes sure that a very less amount of energy is consumed by the IT processes. Thus, it can save plenty of energy over time. The second advantage is cost savings. Since green cloud computing is highly cost effective in the long run, as lot of energy is saved. It helps in reducing carbon emissions, which saves electricity and GHG emissions. Green cloud computing also encourages the recycling process by reusing and recycling the electronic waste. By using green cloud computing, the users can minimize the impact created by pollution at least to some extent. And green cloud computing also helps to improve the brand value and image of companies, since it also helps in increasing the brand value. It is also beneficial for nature, since no renewable or non-renewable resources are used. Now, let's look at the disadvantages of green cloud computing. The first disadvantage of green cloud computing is that it has high upfront cost and requires a lot of research and time to implement at the beginning. The second disadvantage is maintenance, since green cloud computing is difficult to maintain as it is entirely new and changing rapidly. Now, green cloud computing may also be considered underpowered as the aim is to conserve energy. The computer applications that need higher power to perform would be affected by green cloud computing. Now, let's look at applications of green cloud computing. Now, green cloud computing is widely used in the following areas on the organizations. These are management of energy in data centers, green wireless networks, green parallel computing with big data network, and green computing with an algorithm. Finally, I would like to conclude by saying that green cloud architecture is aiming to reduce the data center power consumption. The main advantage of the architecture that green cloud computer uses is to reduce the carbon emissions and also reducing the energy consumption, which in turn helps in increasing the power efficiency and energy efficiency. Now, despite the disadvantages the green cloud computing possesses, it is a concept that can be pursued and is being pursued to save our ecoculture. This concept is evolving and changing, but very much needed to reduce the carbon emissions to the environment. Thank you.